All right, well, that's too funny. I thought that the sound still wasn't working on this thing. I don't know, maybe the little microphone dried out. These iPhones have an extra microphone, sort of a wind cancellation hole microphone that's right next to the input or output jack on the top of the phone. Which is separate from the other two microphones that are, down at the bottom by where you talk, by the button. That's my understanding anyway. So what I was trying to describe to you in silence was, I bought that silicone for no reason because I ended up I was going to put the silicone here around the edges and stuff, and I ended up just using this crack filler, all right? And then I was showing you with the spray paints, that I did a coat or two of the black stuff to begin with, that Rust-Oleum black. And I did it on both. I did it on this one over here and this one that I had to fix. And then I went over to the top of it with a clear coat which is just an extra protectant. Okay, so I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you remember how mangled this thing was, but I had to bend that back into place, and I used that little torch to do that. Just heated it up and then bent it, put it in a vise and bent it. And then I went over the top of all of this with the concrete filler just to level it all out. It used to be all gouged out and ugly. Well, I mean, it's still ugly. If I go over it with some paint, this is sort of the way it's supposed to look, kind of a stucco-y look. When I go over it with I'll go over it with some good exterior paint or marine paint, and that'll clean it up a bit, so it'll be good for a couple more years. And eventually, I do want to replace the whole thing. So, anyway, that's that project, and I'm calling it done for now. All right, and then what I was showing you out in the garage was I grabbed that little Makita sander and that roller. I'm about to go up and do some more work on the balcony, sort of the final touch for the winter, which would be just to do some sanding where, it got a little bit dirty and mucky, and then I'm going to go over it with the Thompson's water sealer, and it'll be good. And I did some more crack filling here. I used that crack filler stuff, the plasticky stuff, and then I also used some of this mix stuff that came in the bag in the bucket. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's right there, and compared to the other stuff, which is right there, right? So I'm kind of thinking I like this better, right? Because you can float that right over the top of the crack and sort of mush it down in the crack. I suppose that this other stuff is better at seeking the very bottom of the crack, and then filling up. But I just like the way this other stuff right here just sort of floats over the top. All right, I'm going to go up and get to work on the balcony now. All right, well, using that little Makita, I'm just about done here. It's taken me maybe 40 minutes. This area over here has not been sanded yet, and you can sort of see where it cuts off. I'm about halfway done with this stuff right in here. And so you can just sort of see, if you can or not, how it's just sort of lightened up the wood, right? And, all the grime and stuff has been from welding and walking over the top of it, and it's sort of gotten ground down in. And this little sander's just bringing it right up, no problem. So, and it fits, it fits pretty nicely. I just, if I set it square like that, you can see it doesn't take up the whole thing. And I just sort of rotate it and, sand it. But it's working pretty good. I was wondering if I was going to have to get a different sander to do this. But it's just cruising right along. I've only gone through 2 pieces of paper on the bottom of that thing. Gone through them pretty good. So, and that's my 3rd one there, and it needs to be replaced right now. So I'm just taking this little break to show the progress. Well, I'm about to put this Thompson's water sealer on the deck now, and Well, I got 25 ounces free with this. It's the size of a nice beer. And I already poured it in here. And I've got this little, I'm going to roll it on. You know, I think it's better to brush it on, but if you're lazy, you can roll it on. I'm lazy. And I've attached the broom handle here to the to the handle of the roller. And I'm just going to begin over there in that corner, come across, and then come back over here to this corner and come across till I get to the middle. So we'll see how it looks here in a bit. Alright, so here's a little sneak preview. I've done about a third or a quarter of the deck. You know, it's still wet, but you can start to get the idea. You know, it just puts a little seal coat right over the top, and it kind of gives the wood, brings out the grain of the wood pretty nicely, and it'll stay like this for quite a while. You know, you do this maybe, this is undercover, so you know, I probably only have to do this once every 2 years, but you know, it's not going to look so shiny and nice the whole time. If I do this once a year, you know, it's gonna have this really pretty color of the wood. You know, that's my experience growing up. Had a great big redwood deck in the back of my house, and I had to go out and put that Thompson's water sealer on it. So, you know, it makes the water bead up and roll off. It's nice stuff. You know, there's other stuff that's more expensive, that's better. It, you know, CWF or CFW or something like that, and there's a few others. You know, but to me, they really changed the color of the wood. This is more like a clear coat kind of stuff, and it penetrates into the wood and absorbs. You know, it blocks UV, it does all that good stuff, but it really brings out the natural color of the wood. It is not quite as you know, the other stuff. It's got some more of a topical. It does sink in, but it's got more of a topical sort of agent that goes across the top and has, you know, much stronger UV. It actually changes the color of the wood a little bit. So I don't like that stuff. I like this Thompson's. You know, and that wood, that deck that I grew up with, it's still there. You know, so it's an old deck. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I'll give you a hint. That deck, the wood on it is it's over 35 years old. Okay. And it looks great, right? So Thompson's water sealer needs to hire me for something, because that was a hell of a sales pitch, huh? Okay, so time elapsed is maybe an hour. Purposely just did over there and not over here so you can see the difference. It's dry over there to the touch, right? I don't want to go walking on it yet, because there might be some part of it that isn't, but yeah, it's dry. I mean, very, very little on my fingers came up there, so you know, that's pretty much what it's going to look like. It'll lose a little bit of luster, but that's pretty much it. You can see right there where my hand was. So yeah, it's still, I guess it's still absorbing a little bit there. Sure didn't feel anything on my fingers though. Yep. I'm going to continue here.